Sex Pistols, Pretty Vacant on LHR London Hit Radio.
LHR London Hit Radio
with Perryman and Maddie.
Guest Lounge.
Great way to kick things off on our Tuesday afternoon, Maddie, and we're about to welcome a lovely gent to the studio with us.
火曜日のインタビュー LHR ロンドンヒットレディオです。ここからはゲストラウンジです。今日お待たせしました。セックスピストルズ初代ベーシストグレン・マットロックさん in the house.
Well, I hope you're a lovely gent because I've met you before, so.
Well, yeah, I thought it was a bit presumptuous,
Yeah.
but yeah, I think that's erring on the side of the right side of the fence. Yeah. How are you doing? Konnichiwa.
Yay, Glen Matlock.
Konnichiwa.
Right on. Welcome, welcome. You were just saying you've been in Japan for almost a week.
Yeah, we've been down in Kobe rehearsing and playing with these lovely Japanese guys here.
Yes.
And we've been rehearsing the setup. They invited me over. And any chance to come to Japan, I jump at it. I love it. Last time I was here, I was here 2 years ago. I was playing with the Faces, which was my all-time favourite band. We headlined Fuji Rock, which was called.
I was there, and I love the show. It was amazing. Yeah, brilliant stuff. What do you love about Japan when you're here?
It's just kind of, well, you know, one of the main things, we were talking on the train, that the little thing that goes past, you know, that scrolls past at the end of the carriage. And I said, what's it saying? And he said, well, it was the news, but now it's the adverts. And I'm blissfully unaware of any adverts at all. It's this kind of mixture of the really traditional and the really spanking brand new. It's fantastic. It's great. All the people are really cool and nice.
We're surrounded by gorgeous people here.
Very much so.
さあそんなグレンさんなんですけれども、まさに日本にも着いたばかり、まだそんなに時が経っていないんだよという今回の来日だったんですけれども、1週間ほど、日本にいる予定だとリハーサルをしたり、少しずつ始めているよということで、そして、2年前に来日フジロックでなさっているなので2年ぶりだけども、東京の特に、素晴らしいと思うところは近代的なものと、トラディション、その伝統的なものが本当にうまく織り交ざっているよねという、話ですね。
Over all the years and all the bands you've played with, from the Pistols to the latest Philistines and your band here in Japan, and working with the reformed Faces and everything else in between, are they all very different experiences for you? Is it a very different world?
It kind of is and it isn't. I mean, I think the one constant with the things I've done is, you know, I play bass guitar, I strum, I'm not much of a guitarist, but I don't play a bad rhythm guitar, I sing, but I'm a songwriter, and all the way through that, I mean, apart from the Faces thing, the constant has been the songwriting side of things, and it's always a vehicle, whatever I'm doing, is to try and get some new songs out to people.
And are those songs different then compared,
No.
Again, are you writing the same music that you were, 30 years ago?
Pretty much, I think. I think, when a band like Oasis came out, I was always accused of liking the Beatles a bit too much, which wasn't quite true really. That was a bit of a backhanded compliment. But when Oasis came out, they did a mixture of the Pistols and the Beatles, and was quite proud of it. That's kind of where I was always at. Now, Oasis are quite old now, but people always keep coming back to those points. I just think I've stayed there all the way through, and I was thinking of calling the album that one came out about a year and a half, 2 years ago. I was thinking of calling it SOS, Same Old Sugar.
It could be the next album.
Yeah. Oh, it could be the 10th one.
Yeah, right.
いろいろな本当に長きにわたる音楽キャリアの中でもちろんピストルズの初代ベーシストで、そしてまたピストルに戻っていらっしゃりもするんですけど、その間にさまざまな音楽をさまざまな人たちと創作しているそんなグレンさんなんですけれども、ずっとやっぱりこの30年ざっと30年の間その創作にあたってのテイスト変わったのっていう話がありました。作曲はね本当に作曲でも有名なんですけれども、いや特には変わってない Same Old Sugar というふうにおっしゃっていましたけど同じテイストを貫いているんだということなんですね。ベース作曲どちらにしてもで、そしてオアシスが出てきた時に僕が感じたのは僕たちがやってたセックスピストルズの音とビートルズの間をうまく取ったなという感じがしていたんだけれども、でそうやって若い人たちが自分たちのテイストをうまく取り入れながらオリジナリティを作っていくのはすごく嬉しいと思うし、それを見ながらかつ自分は同じテイストを守りたいと思うということですね。
She's very good, but I just got to add one thing. I think that the thing that does change over time is what you write about lyrically. You have a different set of life influences, and I try to reflect that. I've read some interview with John Lennon not long before he died, and he was making a new record, and they said, what you're talking about, and he said, well, I think I'm not trying to write for the fans now. I'm trying to write for the fans who've kind of grown with us, and we had relationships fall apart, all different politics go on, the world changes, and it's how you cope with that, you know. So I think that's where I'm at, really. But
So what's inspiring your writing today? What do you write about?
oh, what do I write? That's always I'm in a pretty up kind of mood at the moment. Last year my mum passed away and I had a few sort of heavy things come, but I've come out the other side of that now, and you know, I think it's kind of, I'm writing about hope through perseverance. So,
Perseverance, there's a great word.
Yeah.
You survived a lot, so...
yeah. And it's funny, on my Facebook somebody was sending me a thing about it was Sid from the anniversary of his death or his birthday, but he died, you know, Sid Vicious, and I thought, I'm still here.
You're still here.
Yeah.
Well done.
この、長きにわたる、70年代以降今までに、至るまでなんですけれども、まずその書くということについての話が出ていました。でジョン・レノンが、この世を去る前にインタビューをした経験があるんだそうです。でその時に彼が言っていた言葉ですごく印象的だったのは、その書くっていうのはファンに向けて書くっていうのはもちろんそうなんだけれども、彼らと一緒に人生の中で僕たちも育っていきたいんだっていうふうに一緒にグローしていきたい、そういう気持ちを歌詞に込めながらジョンが書いているって僕もやっぱそれを聞いて印象的に、その言葉を受け止めたっていう話が出ていましたね。でそして、現在もその書くということ確かに同じテイストを保つんだけれども、書くにあたってはやっぱり人生の中でそれぞれみんな育っていくわけですよね。でその中で大切な人が亡くなったりとか、例えば近くにいた人がいなくなったり、その度に感じることを書いていく、そういう意味では、同じなんだけれども書いている内容が変わってくるのかもという話ですね。チェンジはそこにある。
Okay, just a couple of quick Pistols questions. What was it like being a teenage Sex Pistol?
It was, I always kind of, it came out afterwards, but you know that movie, the Blues Brothers, when they get out of jail and they go trying to reform the band, and they leave a message at a bar with, I think it's Aretha Franklin, they're looking for like the drummer or something like that. You know, don't you come around here, she's going, like, you know, what message can I write? And he said, Bill, we're on a quest from God. You know, and it was almost like we was on a mission to kind of, not educate the public, but just change things, you know, when you put in context with what was going on at the time, with all these horrible bands like Yes and Genesis that were really big and overblown and had no relation to what the kids on the street were doing, that's what we was kind of kicking against. And John is a fantastic out there kind of character. He had his own axe to grind, so it was lots of things that came together at the same time.
And do you think you did make the changes you wanted to?
I don't know, I think we opened up a lot of doors, but then I think lots of the music industry just shut them down again afterwards. But that wasn't really our mission, to change the music industry. It was just to, you know, you're teenagers, you want to grab a bit of space for yourself. But I think, you know, that was 35 years ago now. I've never really known any different, but 35 years later, people still coming up to me in the street and how much it affected them. It's kind of, we must have done something worthwhile, you know?
Sure, absolutely.
さあそしてもう皆さんご存知70年代後半ロンドンパンクムーブメントを代表するバンドセックスピストルズ、そして初代ベーシストであるグレン・マトロックさんなんですけれども、当初はティーンエイジャー10代でセックスピストルズとしてパンクムーブメントの最中にいらっしゃった。どんな感じだったのかという話だったんですけれども、というふうに言いながら何かを、educate the public というふうにおっしゃってましたけど、何かを変えたいという気持ち、そしてそれを行動に移すことが自分自身へのスパイスでもあったんだという話。ミッションというふうに言うにはちょっと硬いんだけれども、何かを変えたい気持ちがすごく大きかったと思う。そしてイエスやジェネシス、いろんなバンドがもう大きなムーブメントを作ってシーンで活躍していたけれども、そのストリートのキッズ、要は若者たちに直接語りかけるようなものを僕たちは作りたい、感じてほしいと思う、それができたんじゃないかなというふうに思うと。でそして今例えば時が経って道を歩いていて、自分たちの音楽、自分たちの存在が、どんなに、その人たちを変えたかということを、こんなふうに僕を変えたんだよというふうに言ってもらえることが、それをやってきた意味があるなと思う瞬間だということです。
And over 30 years later, any regrets about leaving? And also, secondly, what was it like, you know, rejoining the reunion tours?
What was it like? Regrets? Not really. It's things have their certain kind of shelf life. John's a very prickly character, and me and him.
We interviewed him last year, actually. Which
Well,
was,
yeah,
so.
sure you did. You know, he's always gives great copy and stuff. He's a great frontman. It just that was what happened. And if I woke up every morning thinking all that, but I was when we did reform. it's you know, they could have asked anybody, any other bass player in the world to do it, and they asked me because I think they finally realised my value. So it's what happens every now, but there's lots of things in life, and you can't move on, you know. So.
And you've done one hell of a lot since then, anyway.
It's,
So
it's been a bit of a roller coaster, but I like to keep working, and I find I enjoy playing with different musicians. I've got up a little project in California. I was over start of January with Clem Burke from Blondie and a mate of mine, James Stevenson, who plays in The Alarm. He's actually playing in the Cult now as well. And the singer Gary Twin. We've got a project going over there, and it's the same kind of thing, but it's a different people put their. You know, once you're a certain degree of playing, you tend to play like your personality, and that influences the music. So you can play exactly the same song, but with a different set of people, it'll have a different feel to it. I find that interesting.
Yeah, that's a great story. I like that. Yeah.
ピストルズを、70年代に初代ベーシストとして、ピストルズでベースをプレイされ、その後、戻っていってらっしゃるんですね、ピストルズに。でもその間にさまざまなアーティストたちとさまざまなフィルター、また違うフィルターを通して違う音楽を作っていく。でもちろんピストルズを離れたこと自体に全くそこに後悔みたいなものはなく、でむしろその後にさまざまなミュージシャンたちに出会っていろいろな音楽を作っていくことが僕にとってはもうジェットコースターのようにエンジョイ楽しかったというふうにおっしゃっていますね。
We're getting a bunch of tweets and messages and Facebook messages too, which we'll get to in a moment.
Okay.
Yeah. But first, let's have a listen to Glen Matlock and the Philistines. Do you want Philistines or Philistines?
I was just asking. The Philistines, I always say.
All right.
So that's the English, not the American English. The English version. But the main reason I called the band the Philistines is because I thought by now I'd have loads of hit records, because I've had that name for a while, and it happens to be whoever's in the band and around at the time. But there's a great English saying, and I thought if I made a best of album, it could just be called Complete and Utter Philistines. But if you can translate that, you're a good girl.
Don't worry. Glen Matlock is with us.